What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So I gotta say, my mind has definitely been on that KD Goku versus Majin Vegeta diorama. I really freaking like that thing, folks. I'm most likely gonna get it. Although I feel like if I am gonna get it, I gotta get a Majin Vegeta bust. You know, because I couldn't just display it next to Tanjiro. If I did do it here, you know, I would want it. Ideally, I still want to get Iron Kite Naruto. I really do like that statue. But, Iron Kite Naruto would fit really good right here. And I could fit a third statue as well. You know, I can scoot this forward a little bit and do Iron Kite Naruto and 1/3 anime statue there. Maybe even just Link. My Link has shipped DHL Dream Studio, so I should get that soon. Dark Side bus should arrive in the next few days as well. I'm also thinking, what do you think of this, folks? So we have the Prime 1 Predator here, you know, and I still don't know if I'm going to get any more Prime 1 Predators. I may keep it at just this, you know, and this piece has one of the worst resale values out there. And it also devalued the Cinema Cat. And, you know, I'm not looking to lose thousands of dollars. And I still do think this piece is absolutely amazing. It's just overscaled. But if we're going to keep it here in the closet, you know, what if we have actually quite a bit of space right here for like a background kind of piece? And I was thinking, I know it's a different scale, but if it's in like the background, you know, it's kind of like in a distance is kind of how I would view it. But the Prime 1 Hunter Victim, you know, I could totally throw like a glass shelf like this, or I don't even know, maybe if it fit on like something like that. I need to see the base size, but I could totally just like throw it back there. There's already leaves, so it's like part of the jungle, and it'd just be like, you know, something in the back. You know, that piece is super cheap. It looks awesome. I always loved it. Theoretically, you could also go with my Cinema Cat, but there's no space on that exact shelf. You know, so, but, you know, it does scale better with Cinema Cat, but here it would work good in the closet, you know. Technically, I could switch this in Cinema Cat if I wanted to, you know, but just a thought. You know, what do you guys think of that? Kong. Little gizmos like a Kong. He always shows his bottom tooth. I did want to show you guys something before we get into the main video as well. So I got this bad boy. Check this out. Off Etsy. It is a bifrost lamp. So this is it. It's, you know, kind of two different colors in the game. There's gold and silver. The one I got is silver. But this allows Kratos to go through the bifrost, which if you remember Avengers and, you know, and like Thor, they use the bifrost to transverse realms. Same thing in God of War. So I got it right here. This is 3D printed. Looks pretty darn good. And it does come with a little nifty remote. And, you know, it has a light. It also has multiple, like, lighting features. Now, obviously, white and blue look best. Also, I noticed the light shines through a little bit better if you do it like that. You know, because the thing is blue, but technically, you know, if you want to do red, yellow, you know, I feel like a blue, you know, like, I honestly kind of like the the darker blue best, but yeah. So pretty cool feature. You know, of course, there it is off, and I want to show this to you. So check it out. Pretty cool. Has like this dragon, this thing that he would like tie it to his belt. You know, theoretically, you know, think about it going on Kratos. And it has like this little stand. And this is kind of like the crystal that went into it. You know, and you had to fill this in Alfheim with the elves. Looks really good. And you can't even like really tell most parts that it's like a 3D print. This guy does a really good job at hiding, like most 3D print stuff. If you look close, you can see like lines You know, and this guy, I think, did a pretty good job. Check out the base. You know, the base, you can tell a little bit more that is like 3D printed. You know, check out that base. And then he put God of War. And what the fuck does that say? Acme. The frick, I can't even read that. And then this, he put the Light of Alfheim. You know, because that's where you go to the realm of Alfheim, the realm of the elves, the dark and light elves. Yeah, but it's just like a stand, so you can stand it up, which is nice, because obviously, you know, this needs some sort of stand. And I prefer this to say the Light of Alfheim versus God of War, so... I wish he would have printed that in a different color instead of black, just because it's really freaking hard to see. You know, but overall, really cool, just like proximity piece that I wanted to go next to my bus, you know, because I got space over there. I can see it good. You know, I can hide the little LED remote here behind my mirror. And it looks cool. So nice little, you know, thing, just because it normally would go right there on Kratos' hip, as you see. Like, well, more to the side. So it works good. You know, I like adding little things like this to my pieces. I think it looks cool. Alrighty, folks. So we got another re-review to do today. You know, just wanted to talk about those few things. The Elden Ring DLC comes out today. I actually decided to just buy the video game. I never bought it originally. I rented it, but I truly love that game. I think it's one of the greatest games ever in terms of like exploration, worlds, and character growth, stuff like that. The story is 0 out of 10, but just exploring is phenomenal, you know, and I want to play that DLC. It's like a 25-hour DLC. It's a full game. So I just bought it. You know, like the pre-order of the game with the DLC. All right. So last time we were in this room, we checked out Medusa. We've checked out the Reaper bust. You know, we've checked out Wolf Predator. You know, so we can kind of come over here to, you know, some of the horror statues. You know, we also actually did check out Ash last time. So maybe let's not do horror. Let's go back to this wall and, you know, look at one of the pieces. I'm going to say the Lykan bust. You know, the bust was the hardest piece to get amongst all these. You know, I hunted these pieces down for some time. I sold a lot of DBZ. I actually sold my entire Sume 1/6 line to more or less buy this. Fortunately for me, at the time, those Sume 1/6s were really good on the resale value. I was selling some of those for quadruple what I paid. And so I made a lot of money, you know, when I sold them, and I was able to buy both these for about $6,000. That was only like $800, and then I added the HCG necklace. This bad boy I got off eBay, and he was 2,500 bones. So he was quite pricey, you know, where these were basically like 2.5K, 3.5K, so 6K total, which is about the going price. 5 to 6K is what I see. But 2.5K, you know, is it worth that? Now, first off, we don't have any other like Lykan busts licensed out there. PCS hasn't made one, and so this is the only one. It is highly limited. I don't remember the exact edition size, and I don't have space for the CUAs, but you know, these are like 300 each, so I'm going to assume the busts are about 300 each. So, you know, it's decently low edition size. It's kind of the edition size nowadays of a lot of life-size busts, so it's average in terms of that. Now, the base, similar to Marcus, you know, you just got sort of like this vampire-ish looking themed base, almost bronzish, and Underworld logo, or Marcus's Underworld Evolution. Nothing really here at the back. ECC, you know, just did this plain black here, so there's nothing to see here, you know, and this is like an old style of bust. I much prefer when you complete a bust, you know, like you actually have a back to look at, because, you know, you're missing a lot of detail when you only do a front part. And for the price point, you know, you look at like this. Imagine if they cut the bust off right here and it was just, a black back like that. So I'm definitely not a fan of that older, outdated bust style. It's fine if it's just against a wall and you're never going to see it. But even still, look at Marcus on the side, him right here. Like, this is missing detail. Like, you walk by it, you're like, what the heck? It's only the front part you can really visually see this, and slightly to the side. So, in terms of, concept, if we're rating this, out of 10, I'd probably give the concept, a 6. Definitely could be leagues better. Imagine if Infinity Studios made one of these nowadays. It would be substantially better base, probably. There might even be a little Lykan diorama in the back. You get the full back, possibly arms. It would be much bigger and better. But, this bust doesn't take up a ton of space. It's 30 inches tall, and about 20 inches wide, 13 inches deep. So, the head is big. Check this out. You see next to me, it is bigger than, a human head for sure. It's still, a pretty good-sized bust. The portrait is quite big. You look at it next to Alita. Alita is kind of a bigger head bust anyways, and it's still quite big. So, it does still have a pretty good presence. Better up high than down low. Now, the only real hair is sort of his beard, and then the top of his head, and then here in the ears. Everything else is just, fully sculpted, similar to this. But they do a really good texture work, lots of veins, and it does look really well done, The mouth area, the teeth look excellent. The tongue looks good. Of course, this could be better, but I still think it looks really well done. The eyes, I'm pretty sure this is just painted on, and then they just use gloss. One hairs. The eyes look okay. Lykan eyes, it's just green with a black dot. And there's some, shape to it as well. It's not just one solid color. It's kind of, there's almost a little bloodshot in there as well. The eyes look good. They're very good. They're not glass, but ECC does an extremely good job in terms of painting their older eyes, on the busts. Their newer busts all have glass eyes. Marcus has actually glass eyes. You can see, here, how shiny it is, glossy it is. He still has a shine, but you could definitely tell it's not glass, but it still looks really good. I don't look at it and think, man, that sucks. I look at it and think, that's an extremely well-painted eye. Look at the 1/3 eye. The life-size bust definitely has more detail in it. Although I will say that mouth looks killer as well. The eyes are pretty good. The sculpt is excellent. This is sculpted, I believe, by Mio Nakamura. And the sculpt is amazing, phenomenal. The hair, it's obviously not hand punched because it is sculpted. You can't do hand punched and sculpted. So it's really just glued on hair, but they do a good job to where if you guys remember the Prime 1 Pennywise half scale, the way they did that glued on hair pissed me the frick off. They ruined that statue with the way they did the hair. Oh my dear God, the worst I've ever seen. I immediately sold that piece because of the hair. That was the worst part. And also the balloon going through the fingers, the super thick balloon hand, rod. Piece had a lot of issues. It was so much potential too, because it did have a good sculpt. But yeah, the hair still looks really good. If you look at that, this is glued on, but you don't see, it still looks great. It doesn't come off. And you have this, which just kind of folds back. Where on the 1/3, it's more like an afro. That's kind of how they styled it. It has gel in it, because this is how it came. So it's there's obviously gel. You theoretically probably could put gel in that if you wanted to, but I think it's fine as is. The best thing about this is definitely going to be the skin texture, the roaring mouth. Just the overall face is really cool looking. So in terms of, like I said, the concept's a 6. The detail, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's still an extremely detailed polystone bust. Overall cool factor, I mean, Jupiter, it's a freaking Lykan from Underworld. Super cool. Like one of the coolest looking, werewolves out there. For me, I'm a huge fan of the Lykans. Probably is the best looking werewolf. And so I would still rate the cool factor and everything else like a 9 out of 10. So is it worth $2,500? I mean, that's really up to you folks. If I had just those 3 pieces and I didn't have Lycan Bust and it was up for $2,500, would I buy it again? Yes, absolutely. Is it worth $2,500? Is like, do I look at it and see $2,500 in it? Yes, I still do. I still think it's worth that money. For me, this whole set is just absolutely phenomenal, and I really do like that bust. I still think it's absolutely phenomenal. So I do recommend it. I still think it's great. I don't see us getting another Lycan bust. If we do, it's going to be a very long time from now. So if you've been thinking about getting it, Flankster still gives it a seal of approval, and I authorize you to spend $2.5K to get it. I wouldn't spend more than that, though. I would wait for a better deal. But if you get it for $2.5K, get on it, folks. But anyways, folks, we should definitely be getting some statues here real soon in the next week. Probably 2 statues, maybe more. Gizmo's playing around. Gizzy! Anyways, folks, I'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.